Hey there, buddy. So I'm starting a new tutorial here where we're going to focus on building um, pretty simple but complex, if that's even possible, marketplace type app where we will set it up so that users can sign up for an account, they can create their own marketplace, they can sell items or alternatively, customers can look at marketplaces without creating an account. They can browse the app, but if they want to make a purchase, they will be forced to create an account to store their information. Um, so we're going to create this app based off of that idea. In addition to that, we'll use some third-party plugins to kind of soup up the app a little bit and make it um, more professional in nature, I guess would be the best way to put it. We'll be using an extension from Firebase, which we'll get to that later on. But if you've never played around with the extensions in Firebase, I would suggest that you do that. They've got a lot of extensions that you can work with. And the extension that we'll be using is the Calculate Shipping Rates with Ship Engine. So that way a customer can plug in their address for any given marketplace that they're wanting to buy an item from, and it'll automatically calculate the shipping between the distances. Of course, this is going to be within the United States only, so just bear that in mind if you're viewing this tutorial from someplace outside of the US. Like I said, this extension is available in Firebase so that you can kind of just install it into the Firebase console, and it'll set things up generally the way that you need them to be without having to do too much work on your end to get it going. You will have to have a Ship Engine account to be able to access their API, but you can get an account with Ship Engine for free to at least kind of play around with how it works. And then if you want to take advantage of all of their different features that they have as far as tracking and creating shipping labels and things like that, you can do so. Um, so what I'm going to do for this app, so a few different things that I want to look at doing. As far as users who are selling items, who have marketplace items, let's say that you're the app creator and you've opened this up to people. You need to make money somehow. So there are a few different ways you can do that. You could charge a subscription to the users that have a marketplace. They could pay you a subscription fee to be able to sell on your market, or I'm sorry, to sell on your app. Or alternatively, you could pass those fees on to the buyer, where the buyer wouldn't necessarily, the customer wouldn't necessarily know, or I mean, they would if they read your terms of service, but that fee would be minimal, and it would already be tied into the total price that is owed for whatever purchase that they're wanting to make. So it's not like they're getting this massive breakdown of, okay, this is how much I'm paying for shipping, this is how much I'm paying for the item, and then here's a fee on top of that. You just fold it all into the price of the item and deduct the fee from there. And that's usually the most ideal way of doing it, is kind of passing it off onto the customer, and then making that price rather small. Obviously, you don't want to be charging them $10 extra or something like that. You could do like $1 per transaction or something like that to make that difference up. But in any case, we can look at that down the road as to how we want to monetize the app. But right now, I've just got a couple of collections set up here for the back end. We'll build upon this as needed, but this is what we're going to start with. We've got the users collection, which just has the basic user fields, and I also added in street address, city, state, and zip code. And then down here we have the markets. So this would be each individual user's market that they can create if they are a seller. And then here for this collection, I've got the date it was created, the name of the market, a description, a banner image, is verified, which is a Boolean true false. Is top market. This will be for setting up the order of markets. So if a market has received a lot of customer followers or likes or something like that, it can be boosted to kind of the top view of the list. Is it suspended? So, if they broke some rules, you have to suspend them. How many likes they've received, how many the users that did like the market, users that are following that market. And then I had mentioned this in a poll that I did on my YouTube account. You can use any variety of payment methods that you want for a customer to pay a marketplace. Having only Cash App ID is probably not ideal. Not everybody has Cash App, so you definitely want to offer more than just one payment method. But I'm going to use Cash App ID because I want to show how you can deep link to Cash App from within your Flutterflow app and pass parameters to Cash App, including who is being paid, as well as the total amount that's to be paid, because it's kind of a cool feature that Cash App has that I don't think is entirely well known. And then I've also created some sub-collections under markets. First sub-collection is the market items, so it'd be the items that are for sale for any given market. We've got date created, item name, item description, the quantity that's available, the price per item. Then I have a primary image, a sub-image 1, and a sub-image 2. We could do multiple image upload, but I don't want to have it unrestricted as to how many images can be uploaded, and doing multiple image upload is kind of a tutorial in and of itself. So we're not going to do it that way. I'm just going to restrict a market to being able to upload three photos per item. Up to. They will have to upload a primary as a requirement, and then these sub images are optional. And then the other sub collection that I have are market orders. So when a customer places an order and it's associated with that market, the date the order was placed, the total order value, so the total cost, the items that were ordered to be a reference list. Has the order been fulfilled? So once the order is shipped, then the marketplace owner can click yes on this or whatever, and that can send a notification to the customer, the date that it was fulfilled, and then the customer account reference so that we can get the customer data associated with this order. So again, these are just my primary collections I've got set up for this tutorial. We will add more collections in here though, because they will be necessary, but this is where I want to start. I don't want to go beyond this. I don't want to get confusing on it. So very first thing that I actually want to do, because this app is going to be accessible to users without creating an account. Now, they do have to create an account if they want to sell or if they want to buy, but if they just want to browse, they can do that without an account. And so I want to go in here to my settings, the very first thing that I want to do. And let's see here. I want to, that's new. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, sorry, that's not new. My goodness, Flutterflow keeps doing stuff, so sorry. But anyway, I want to turn deep linking and routing on because one, we want to be able to assign authentication to pages, but also I want pages to be shareable and accessible publicly without authentication. And we will probably also use Firebase dynamic links, but we're going to set that up later because that's some stuff that we have to do on Firebase side. So we won't worry about that right now. So anyway, so I've got totally blank slate over here. Nothing going on yet. So the very first pages, I think that I would want somebody to come upon when they first access the app as a non-registered, non-logged in user, would be just the primary market feed. So that would be just, a list of items that are for sale from various user markets. So that would be the very first thing that I'd want anybody to see. Once we get into registration and things like that, where people have to create an account, after they register an account, we would probably want to run them through a kind of an onboarding process to know what they can do, whether it's a customer account or a seller account. But again, when they first download the app, it would probably be best to bring them into the market itself to be able to view listings. So a few ways we can do this. Since we're starting from a blank slate, we're gonna work this all the way through the entire process here. And I do need to back up slightly before we continue on here, just to make some clarifications. One thing to note when you're doing a sub collection like this, so if I wanted this main page that the user or the app user, not necessarily a logged in user, but the person to see, if I wanted it to show items, whether randomly or in some sort of order, but I wanted just multiple different items from different markets to show up here, I would have to have that as a top level collection. Because if you want to display items that is a part of a sub collection, the page that you're on has to reference what top level collection it is coming from. So since each market within the market collection belongs to a user, then if I tried to display the items here, I would have to again reference a user's market, and therefore I would only be able to show one market's items on this list. So that's not what I want to do, and I think that's what I initially said I was going to do, but that's not what I want to do. I'm actually going to have the initial page show the various markets that are on here. And we'll have a search bar and things like that, so a person can come on here and type in some search terms, and it'll display whatever market has tags related to those search terms. And then they can click on that market and go in there and view the items that are available. So I just want to make that clarification real quick. So I think the first thing that I want to do, I am just going to slap an app bar in here because we are going to use that at some point. So I'm just going to go ahead and have it. And of course, as we're designing this, we want to make it look pretty nice. I'm not going to just throw things together. I want a good color scheme. So I'm actually going to roll over to Coolers. If you've never used that website before, let me get it pulled up here. So coolers.co, it's a color matching system here, where you can plug in a color to start with, and then I'll show you some associated colors that go nicely with it, or you can just kind of sort through them, find something you like, and then go from there. I kind of like that color. That's nice. Maybe that color, or maybe this color. And then you press the space bar to get contrasting colors that go nicely with the ones that you've already got picked out. You can go with that. Yeah, we'll keep that. All right, so I'll start with those colors to see if that'll work for me here. I'm gonna grab that kind of white color that I first saw there. Oops, that's what I want to do. Let's see how this one looks. Okay, yeah, it looks nice. So that may get changed around as I go along, but that's what I'm going to start with here. All right, so again, I'm going to be showing all these different marketplaces. So the very first thing I want to throw in here then is I want to go up here and I want to go ahead and get a column going so that I can start stacking stuff. And then I'll probably probably want to do a search bar at the very top. That would kind of make sense. So I'll put a text field in there, and I'm going to drop it down a little bit. I'm going to scoot it in some. And then max lines obviously is going to be 1. My hint text will be, search markets. And then I do want to do an outline, and I think I want to fill it as well. So let's grab our fill color here. And yeah, I think I'll just leave it as white for the time being. Set my border radius, give it a little bit of curvature there. I do not want to autofocus. I do want to leave it as text. Now, for doing search, we're actually going to be setting up Algolia, I believe that's what it's called. Just double check that. Yep. I'm going to be using that for our search, but we will do that later on. We're not going to worry about that right now. Just wanted to get the search bar in here so that I have a reference point. I do want, let's do a trailing icon. There we go. All right, so now we've got a search bar that we can work with. That'll work there. So now I want to do like I want to do promoted, or what did I put as top market? Let's do as promoted market as well. And I'll show you why I'm doing that here in a minute. So I want to do a side-scrolling list for this. First, let me drop a row in here, and let's move that down some, and then put some text in there. I'm just going to title that as promoted markets. And I'm going to use Architect's Daughter as my primary here. I probably need to go, need to go change that in the settings, so I don't have to do this every time. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to set up my side-scrolling list. So to do that with a list view, which is what I'll be using, the first thing I need to throw in there is a container. You cannot set a list view to to scroll horizontally without a container. You'll get an error. So you've got to put a container in there first. And we're going to make this probably about that big. We'll go ahead and extend it out to infinite width, and I'll just leave it like that for now. And I'm going to set its background to the same as my app background. And now I'm going to put my list view inside that container, and now I can set the list view to horizontal. And I am going to bring that in just a little bit off the side, but I'm going to leave it over here so that my my items to the right kind of fade off to the right of the screen here. Okay, so this will be my promoted markets. And let's see. Yeah, we'll leave that that way for now. All right, so now I need to put something in there for my promoted markets. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a container about that wide there. Oops, that's right. So just for a reference point, if you try and go up and down here, you see that I can go all the way to 0 and it's still that same size. So this internal container is taking its vertical axis from your external container. So the container that's holding the list view widget, you have to move that one up and down if you want the vertical size of your internal container to change. So I'm just going to set that to infinite. And then I'm going to actually want to, you can define the height of the internal container by using padding. You just can't do it by dragging or doing it down here on height. Which, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it full width here. That's fine. But I do want to define its corners. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to grab that outer container. I am going to move it down just a little bit. Okay, that'll work. And then I think I'll give it an elevation of 2. Looks good. And I don't know if I want to change its back. If I want to change its fill color or not. Let's see. Yeah, actually, I think I will. I think I will change it to that. Okay, and then I'm going to set its right side padding to 8, and that way I'll go and show you if I duplicate. There's space between them. Which actually I might set that just a little bit further. I might do 12. I think I am going to scoot that in just a little bit here. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That way, the third one in the row will kind of overhang a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to drop a column in here. I'll go ahead and set that to the center. And let's go ahead and do an image. Oh, whoops, it's not an image. Actually, let's put that back up to the top. And we'll set the width to infinite. And now we need to curve those corners, 16. So I want to curve the top corners here to 16 so it matches my container. Okay, that should work. That down a little bit. And then I can drop some text in here, which actually going to do a row. Set that to the center. Put my text in here. I'm going to expand it. And put that to the center. There we go. And then we'll change the color to white. And we'll set this to Oswald. Actually, I kind of like that other one. Yeah, I like that. That'll be the name of the what am I looking for? The name of the market. And then let's grab that row again and duplicate it. Grab the row and bring it up some. And we'll make that smaller. Oops. That's not what I want. Okay. And then that can be the description there. And we will set its maximum. Let's see here. Oops. Okay. maximum lines to 3. And we're going to auto size that. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and query my list view here. Just get that taken care of. So that's going to be markets. Do a list of documents. I am going to limit this. Do 8. And then our filter here will be set to promoted market is promoted equal to true. And then we can order by. We'll just you know what, we won't order. Just have it random. Okay. There we go. So now we're getting our promoted markets to show up in that list there. All right. So I'm actually going to move my text field down because I want it to apply to the next list rather than the promoted markets list. So I actually want it to come down here to this list here. And then for that, I'm going to put another list view widget in. Move that down a little bit. And then we want to show our other markets. So yeah, we'll just leave it like that. And then I'm just going to go up in here and grab one of their pre-made widgets. Let's see, what do we want? What do we want to use for that? Let's use that one. And we're going to get rid of that. We don't need that. Okay. And then we can go ahead and query that list view. And we're going to set that to query collection. That'll be markets, list of documents. We'll leave it unlimited there. And then our filter, we want to set as promoted market and is equal to false. So we don't want the promoted markets to show up in here. We just want to show it up in this top part. And then we're going to order by we'll order by name. That'll be fine. And then we'll set that as infinite scroll and page size 25. That alone. Okay. And I am just going to leave the background white on those. I think that looks fine. I do want to drop this down some more though. And we're kind of lagging, so I'm going to do a refresh real quick. And then I'm going to grab my list view and I'm actually going to pull that in some. And like a little bit more space. It looks like I don't have any space at all. Do 8. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so we do want to make sure that we assign here. So we want to do markets. We want to do their banner image. And we want to do the market name and market description. And the same thing down here. And max characters, we'll leave that at 70. And we'll do the ellipsis. I don't want to auto size that though. Okay. Let's see. Is this set to? Okay, it is set to width. So let's auto size that just in case though. All right, so that's good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and set my column here to be able to scroll. If you want to scroll up and down. And I'm going to leave safe area turned on so that since my background is just a solid color, that'll be fine. And that way I don't have to apply any padding to the list view. I do want to turn that off. Okay, so it's a good place to start there. And then I think that I will do up here, I'm going to plug in a icon button, and it's going to be a menu button. And I'll leave that as black. I think that looks good. And then we'll do we can do that as their yeah, that'll work. Let's bring that up just a little bit more. Okay. All right, that'll work. Now, of course, we want to set this to. That's right. I need to do this first over here. Oh, no, that needs to be my entry page. Yeah, this can't be the same. I'll deal with that in a minute. Okay. Authenticated user. So we're going to have that go to an in drawer. So let's go ahead and drop a drawer in here and an in drawer. And we can have this. Go ahead and set that up for our drawer. Okay. And then we're going to set this, open this up, we're going to set that to a conditional. I'm going to go to global properties and we're going to select is user logged in. If the user is logged in, then that will open the end drawer. If they are not logged in, we'll set this, we'll build this out in just a second. I'm just going to go ahead and add an action so it throws an error as a reminder to come back to this. But if the user is not logged in other words, they're a guest, they haven't created an account, it'll pop up a box asking them to create an account before they can obviously use that button there. And then this picture we will fill in with something. We'll put a filler image here. And then the page title, let's center the title. And it's going to be the name of the app. So since I don't really have a name, we'll just call it Marketplace App. Yeah, that'll work. Well, come on now. Okay. All right, so we've got our first page going. So got a lot to do from here, but it looks good for where we're at, just kind of starting off. So we've got a lot of stuff that we need to plug in here. So this is actually going to be the end of this tutorial for this app. I'm going to try and do these in a little bit smaller segments if I can. But I will get the second tutorial for this one put up shortly.